first session, and what happened in the first session is we had Chris Principe, who is in Vietnam, who says things are calmer over there. He's seen things are calmer than in the U.S., and he lives in the U.S., but he's traveling over there and keeping some level of quarantine before he comes back. Then we had people from all over Latin America, where they're basically in the same boat that we are. Everybody is quasi getting quarantined. We had Abimael from Puerto Rico mention great comments that Puerto Ricans, they like to party and be out, and they had to put basically the governor said no more going out, and putting the police out to keep people in, because people don't get it. They don't get it. They think it's a joke, and it's no joke. So I'll comment again. So why are we doing this? So Apprentice Worldwide, we are a career development network where people from around the world help each other in their careers. And we do this because we like to help people. And since we like to help people in business, why not in life? And this is why I decided to do this event to help my friends. And I called Peter. Peter is a Emmaus brother of mine from church. Our kids go together to school. And when I told him that we needed to get some clarification from experts, he said, "I'll get experts for us, and let's do something really quick to calm people down and bring them some good information." So, Peter, if you want to introduce the rest of the medical staff, I'll unmute them. Tell me which ones they are, because there's a lot of people here, but I'll unmute them as soon as you tell me.
Hey, Hernan. Okay, thank you, guys. I appreciate being on this call and trying to help out. I do have some confirmation. I think Dr. AJ Farshin is also on the line. AJ, if you're there, can you confirm?
So I unmuted Dr. AJ.
Okay. AJ, are you there? Yeah, I can hear him, but he's low. Hernan, I don't know if you can bring up his volume or.
Let me see. No, it has to be done from his side.
AJ, can you bring up the volume on your phone or on the program? And
I'll try. You guys go ahead. I'll try to make it. You guys go next.
Okay, I think it says gonna try to call back or fix it. I'm not sure. I couldn't hear him either, but
That's what I said.
Okay, so AJ's Dr. Farshin's gonna try to call back in and log back in, Hernan.
Thank you.
Dr. Annette Manabi, she's on the phone also.
Which one? Oh, Annette.
Yeah.
I think I saw it here. Hold on a second. There we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
Okay, here. Okay.
Thank you. Welcome to our chat. I appreciate you coming in. We had a little reporting from around the world. Everybody's panicking. What can you tell us? What shall we do, doctor? What shall we do?
Well, I think the important thing to remember is there's a couple things that are different about this from the typical flu. It spreads quickly, and that's one of the factors that makes it different, because instead of slowly passing through the population, there is a great percentage of people that don't get sick with this, but they're spreading it. And then the people who are vulnerable and get sick in large numbers. And then they have too many sick people for the local medical systems to handle. And so the restrictions are to prevent people from spreading it and trying to shut out that transmission time so that the virus itself can burn out and die, and we don't have all these medical systems becoming overwhelmed with people who have the coronavirus. And so somehow the way it's being transmitted in the news, everyone is getting this sense of panic because of the restrictions, but the majority of people who get it, many don't even get sick. And then of those who get sick, it's a small percentage that actually are really in trouble, and it's usually people who might have lung disease already or older people. Statistically, right now, the biggest vulnerable population is the very old population, and then people who have problems with their lungs, and then there are, like we hear of doctors getting it. Well, if you think about it, the doctor who's working in a hospital that's overwhelmed, is stressed, is overworked, their immune system is weak because they're working so hard. It's not just a healthy person who's suddenly dying from these viruses. So the key is the better we are at containing it and keeping it from spreading, the faster we can end the problem. And so it's either catching up and trying to catch up after the fact, or saying, let's be aggressive, shut everything down. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to really eliminate transmission from the numbers that they're getting out of China and Korea and Italy. And that's why, but once it's spread, it takes longer, because then you have people walking around who have the virus, but they're not sick, and they're spreading it to people who, wherever they go.
Mm-hmm. And you had mentioned, I think, Dr. Abrantes, you have mentioned before that there's some things that information that you're getting from the medical community that hasn't been shared to try to prevent these and look at things a little different. Anything you can share in that, from that sense?
Yeah, a lot of the media is, like Dr. Manabi just said, the most of the things that they're doing is putting out general information, and then there's people that are reporting from the medical perspective. It's really containing the virus, just like we're saying. If we don't put out that information, that's a one defense, and that's what doctors are sharing around the world, is that this has been a pandemic with different viruses, and the most important thing is to try to get it under control. It does have a period where it actually accelerates and then it starts to decline. So what the medical community is trying to share, like from the American Academy, and Dr. Farshin will be on the line, I'm sure, is that including everybody that's in part of the American Academy, has tried to work on a protocol to help the patients that are in the hospital. That can probably, it's a recommendation that can probably work for the patients that are already inflicted with the virus, as well as those that are treating themselves with self-quarantine. There's ways you can do treatments to help, with the condition if you do can have a little contamination with the virus. There's also things, if you're not contaminated, is prevention is still the number one thing, because besides treatments, people that are not sick and they're young, they think they can't get it. They're carriers, but they're passing it on to the older, the weak autoimmune patients, and they're succumbing to that. So there's protocols that the American Academy of Stem Cells have come up with extensive research behind it, with what might work and what might not work to help with the virus. And they did submit it to the World Health Organization after everybody contributed to it, and it's circulating out there. And I don't know if Dr. Farshin's on the line yet, but he can probably tell you a little bit more about that also.
While we're checking to see if he's on the line, one thing that has come up through France that seems to be pretty consistent is, for the general population and to share, is we're used to using Advil, Aleve, anti-inflammatories if there's fever. And the word is that apparently the use of anti-inflammatories will make the situation worse. And so if people feel sick, they shouldn't take the anti-inflammatories that they usually take, like Advil or Aleve, because that can make it worse.
Interesting.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes. Yes, doctor. Go ahead.
You hear me, right? Okay,
yes,
good.
I hear you.
Thank you, Dr. Abrantes, for inviting me to your meeting. Just wanted to give you a little background. About 4 years ago, actually, we started up the American Academy of Stem Cell Physicians. This was after a few people went blind here in the United States, as you all know, in South Florida, as well as some of the stem cell companies being shady. Concern about the industry, and I've been in the field now for a long time, as you guys have been, concerned about the field and not having a stem cell field here in the United States. We started up the American Academy of Stem Cell Physicians. Initially, it was 3 of us. Now there's over 200 physicians who are members, and we participate, and we have meetings, every day online on a WhatsApp, and once a week we meet on the Go meeting, and you guys are welcome to come and listen in. Essentially, the whole idea is putting our thoughts together, coming up with better formulations. There is a lot of confusion, and most of it is coming because, well, the governments are scared. Everybody's scared of economy, so there's a lot of lies, and there's a lot of things are being covered up. But us as physicians, and the responsibility that we have to people, we have to look over that. What we're seeing is, I think a lot more is happening than what they're telling us, all right? Like Dr. Anette said, you could be a young person in your 20s and just pick up the bark, shake somebody else's hand, and don't get sick at all, and be completely asymptomatic and not knowing this is going on. Because if this is a issue with bioterrorism, and this is designed virus, which really at this point it doesn't matter. What matters is a matter of not catching this disease and staying alive, really. And we're seeing young people. We're getting reports that young doctors, young people, you're looking at some of these videos that come from Iran or South Korea. You see these people are young people in their 30s and 40s that they're losing it. So we came up with over this past weekend, we had meetings online, and we came up with a protocol. And the only working protocol right now that I know of from medical societies. I'm hoping that we see more and more protocols coming out. The protocol is based on scientific data that we have so far of how to fight coronavirus or other viruses. For instance, stem cells, they play a role here if it's given IV. If you give a stem cell, if you give anything IV intravenously, the first place that it goes is the lungs. So stem cells, they have growth factors, they have cytokines, and possibly coming from the Chinese studies that they've done lately, that they've been able to give 3 doses only, and you get people off a ventilator and making them healthy. We've come up with some formulations, and we're going to put this protocol on our website as soon as we're just fine-tuning it, okay? For example, today it was supposed to go out to Dr. Theodore, who is the head of the WHO, so he can share it with other physicians worldwide. But basically, it's correct dosages of stem cells, exosomes. For those of you who are not, I know there are people here in business. Exosomes are growth factors that would allow healing. And it could be put in a nebulizer and be given to a patient and directly go into the lungs. We talked about IV ozone. IV ozone being used in South America more than here. Here it's a little bit controversial, but that is also a great choice because ozone has been shown to kill viruses. And my experience has been, I have treated several cases of influenza. The people who were supposed to get hospitalized and be very sick, and kept them out of it and sent them back to work. So there is a lot of good information. There is bad information, but we do have a lot of good information that we want to share it with all communities, with all the physicians. If you look at our website tomorrow, it should be posted. And we're doing fine tuning with some of the minerals, some of the dosages before we send it to Dr. Theodore. We want to do that the latest by tomorrow, so it's accessible to people. And that's basically where we are. And I'm available to answer any questions that you wish.
Well, we appreciate that, and again, this is a global community of executives that will be sharing some good practices that we've learned today. If you like, I know that we have Dr. Bill Song. Is that correct? Yes. Dr. Bill Cole. Dr. Bill, anything that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah. You know what? I've been thinking, we're talking about this virus burning out, and, at some point the president had mentioned about the virus dying out when the heat comes, and I've been thinking about the mechanism, because we know that it does slow down in the summertime, flu seasons in the winter. And, I'm thinking it's great that we have these protocols for treating people when they're sick, but some of the things that we should be doing when it's subclinical, when somebody contracts the virus and doesn't even know it or just gets the sore throat, I think one of the first things that we should do is to raise the body temperature. That study, that the data somebody was mentioning about in France about use of ibuprofen being harmful, I think it's because it's lowering people's body temperatures, because viruses will replicate at an optimal temperature, which is between 35 and 37 degrees Celsius, which is just below the normal body temperature. So what I'm concerned about right now is that as the weather starts to get warm, I see people walking around in shorts and short sleeves, and their body temperatures are dropping, especially these college kids. They're home, they're all outside running around, and they could easily be little factories of viruses. And because they're young, they're probably not even getting sick, but they're spreading it all around. And I think as the summer months come and it gets warmer, the body temperatures of the population will be higher, so the virus won't spread as fast and it'll seem to suppress. And if you look at where the virus is spreading most rapidly, it seems to be in the climates, it's kind of the latitude around the globe. At this point, we don't see it spreading that fast in the southern hemisphere where it's warmer. So I think when the warm weather comes, we're going to get a false sense of security that the virus has died off. But, I think when the fall comes again, this thing's going to come back with a vengeance. And the only way it's going to really burn through the population, I think when we all build up an immunity to it, that's when the virus will die. And one consolation is that because it spreads rapidly, it probably will burn out pretty rapidly too, but not before a lot of people die. So I think what we really need to do at this point is to tell people to do something that's really simple, is to, as soon as they feel any symptoms at all, even before getting tested or anything like that, to make sure you bundle up and keep your body temperature up, so that give your body a chance. Your immune system, our immune systems are what's going to kill this virus. The immune systems of the world's population is what's going to kill the virus, not the heat from the sun or anything like that. So at the same time that we're trying to find treatments for when people are sick, I think one of the best things that we can do is to give our bodies the chance to kill this virus before the virus replicates and overwhelms our immune system. So we need to get it like as soon as people are infected, so that our immune system can kill this virus and not. And then when it does spread, if we can kind of mitigate the symptoms, I think we can save a lot of lives. And that's the message that I'd like to get out to people to make sure that they take some of the common sense measures that we've always, kind of looked at it as old wives' tales, but, bundling up, taking a lot of fluids, high dose vitamin C when you first get infected, I think that will be the key to mitigating the damage that this does. So that's kind of my 2 cents here.
Yeah, excellent, and great information. So obviously, I'm taking some good notes. So good vitamin C, raising your temperature, looking out for solutions, new solutions that are going to come in as a result of the recommendation to the WHO. Also, I also understand that there's carriers, people that don't think that they have the virus, or even the young, they might not have any symptoms or show any, or don't get sick, but they are still propagating the disease. So that's why we have to be careful. I heard a little earlier, obviously, to make sure that we separate the sick people from the people in the house that are not sick, and try to keep them quarantined within the same house. So good advice all along. I really appreciate it. Is there any place? So I think there was one more doctor in the group. Peter, there was somebody else that you invited?
I think I did see Dr. Cole was on there, but I don't know if he was on and off, if he stayed on there or not.
I just wanted to add something else. Apple cider, if you get a sore throat coming,
yeah,
gargling with apple cider vinegar does work. All right, that does work, and you may be able to frequent gargling before it moves on. The trick is stopping this virus in your upper respiratory tract and not allowing it to travel and become pneumonia. If you can do that, you will stay alive. To do that, it's possible that you end up on the ventilator, and then anything can go, So that's one thing. You don't want to be there. So like Dr. Song said, it's a good idea to keep warm. I would even if I'm living in a household of 4 or 5 people, and especially if there is let's say I live with my son and my daughter who are in their 20s, okay? I would isolate myself from them because I'm in my 50s, and I have a good chance of getting it from them and become symptomatic. And they may be completely asymptomatic. So even in the same household, you may consider being in the room and staying away from, at a distance from your children. You need to be vigilant. You need to be vigilant on this one because this is obviously very serious here in the United States. President is very concerned. There is, as you can see, when he comes on TV, he's extremely concerned now. So you can tell that this is not just like a common cold or something simple. The numbers are crazy. So if you look at Italy, Italy says they have 10,000 cases and 1,000 deaths. That's 10%. Let's say they're hiding it. Double that number, that's 20%. If you look at other countries, you know, again, I totally believe that. Well, I mean, it's only normal that they play this on the low side, so there's no panic, no craziness. So the death rate on this, the death rate is higher than what they're saying it is right now, which is they're saying it's approximately 1%, 2%. But how come in Italy it's 10%? And how come in Iran, which is more deaths, it's crazier than anywhere else? I mean, those guys are lying through their teeth, the mullahs. But still, you know, these numbers don't make sense. Everybody's reporting different numbers.
Yeah. Well, again, so very serious. Is not to be taken lightly. Before we were making jokes about, you know, the Corona beer and how we shouldn't stop drinking. The reality is, this is serious. You know, no time to joke around. We may a little bit to let off the steam, but we have to take precautions, right? I wanna ask Dr. Annette, Dr. Bill, and of course Dr. AJ. Where can people connect with you? You have LinkedIn or websites where people can connect with you and follow your progress.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Anette Manabi, and I have a Facebook also, so they can check there and reach out, and any questions, happy to answer. I understand some Spanish, so I can do that as well if a question comes in Spanish.
Muy bien. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as well, and I haven't really been active on it, but I think I will start, you know, posting things on there because
yeah,
a
we
lot
need
of people
to.
have questions.
People are panicking. People are panicking, and it's like all you have to do is tell them, "Hey, this is the reality," and they don't understand the issues, and so it's a good way to get the word out of what's happening and why it's important.
And then Dr. Bill is Bill CAM or Song?
No, SONG is last name, William Song.
William Song. Okay, Dr. William Song. And then Dr. AJ, I know your website is the American Academy of Stem Cells. Is that correct, Dr. AJ?
AASCP.net.
What is it? I'm sorry.
AASCP.net. American Academy of Stem Cell Physicians.net. Currently, the American Academy, because we're meeting very frequently, and I'm talking about very frequently, it's like we're having classes online every day. And then we have meetings once a week. And then, so because of that, and we have experts in every field of regenerative medicine, like Dr. Song, Dr. Manabi, Annette, Dr. Pedro Abrantes. These are all, everybody has specific knowledge. So when we're bringing all this knowledge together, we feel that currently our organization is on top of things, all right? I mean, we're not hearing from other organizations as much, but we feel that, and you are welcome to tap into this vast knowledge that is produced by the American Academy at ASCP.net.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll take note, and obviously we have our website is apprenticeworldwide.com/current affairs. So in the current affairs, we'll put the links to all the websites and your profiles, and I'll put a copy of this video there as well, so you can see it. Again, at Apprentice Worldwide, what we do is we network and we help each other out in business and in life. And this is a service that we do to our network. We have around 1,000 people, which I'll ask everybody to share with their own networks. In LinkedIn, I have a large network in LinkedIn as well, and we'll share all this information as fast as we can, and we'll follow the progress in your sites. What I will do probably in the next couple of days is summarize some of the findings that I get from all of you, and then we might do another call in a couple of days. But we really appreciate what you did tonight. This I'm going to share with the people. Peter, are you still there?
Yeah, no, I'm still here. Sorry, can you hear me?
Again, I really appreciate you doing this for us. God bless. Stay safe. Pray a lot. I saw the Pope walking, basically doing whatever the heck he wants to do and walking through the streets of Italy just to go to 2 churches, exposing himself. But he did it for a good cause, right? For us.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat that he did that. But again, anybody else that's stressed out about the situation, let us know. Don't stress out. Just keep safe, right? We have doctors in the house that are taking care of the patients, and we'll be here for you. Again, thank you. Any questions from the audience? I see some people. Before we leave, we can take a few questions. Astrid, Lead, Clevy. Any questions? Abimael, you stayed till later.
Yeah, thank you. Everything is fine. Thanks for every doctor.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Stacy in Chicago.
Thank you for having us.
Going once. Going twice. So, take care, guys. Have a good night.
Okay. Good night. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Hernan. Bye-bye.
Take care, my friend. Be safe.
Be safe.